It is the only reporter-owned and operated newsroom covering our nation's capital with neither politics nor punditry. All original content to be found at the Blacklock's Reporter, online blacklocks.ca. And we bring it to the show every Wednesday morning at this time with the managing editor of the Blacklock's Reporter. Tom Korski joins us. Tom, good morning.
Morning, Mike.
300,000 refugee cases pending. In the 300,000 cases pending in Canada, Tom?
That's true, says the Immigration and Refugee Appeal Board, and that's their job. They take all those hearings. Appeal is automatic anytime an illegal immigrant or refugee claimant stepping off a plane, typically at Pearson International Airport, makes a refugee claim. They are entitled to a hearing. Everyone gets a hearing, and the backlog is now 4 years. What's interesting and startling from the Immigration and Refugee Board chair testifying in Senate hearings, Mike, is that a third of those in the backlog, 300,000, are still awaiting security clearance. In other words, the MPs had known that it would take some months for Canada Border Services Agency or police to do a cursory security background check on those people. And now we see that there's 100,000. MPs have asked, well, does that mean you have all these people sort of hanging around? We don't really know anything about them or their status, and that's exactly what that means. Why is this relevant, Mike? Because there are charges pending in the famous case in Toronto in which father and son were charged with plotting a terrorist strike, presumably against a Jewish target, in the Greater Toronto area. One was in on a student visa, and the other had filed a refugee claim, became a citizen. But there was completely inadequate security screening, including involving the father, who featured in an ISIS terror torture video. So MPs have just been appalled by this, but the figures are startling.
They are startling, and I love the way you described it, 100,000 or so just hanging around. I mean, 4-year wait list. Don't we need to kind of plug the hole where they land and get in? Isn't that where the screening should sort of begin and end?
Well, it's interesting that now you say, exactly, didn't we start doing that in 1867? No. And there's a bill pending now in Parliament. This is a Liberal bill. This is not some, conspiracy theory. Bill C-12, anyone can read the text. And their cabinet wants to give border agents and others, including cabinet itself, authority to revoke a temporary permit anywhere, anytime, or revoke any other document, their words of the bill, not mine, if it is in the public interest to do so, end of quote. And I'm with you, Mike. You say, well, why was this not done all along? And in the face of these staggering numbers that led to this 4-year delay we talk about.
No question. Okay, moving on to electric vehicles, Tom. And our industry minister seems to not understand why anyone would oppose Chinese EVs in the Canadian market or the revival of those EV subsidies.
It is apparently a riddle wrapped in an enigma for Industry Minister Melanie Joly. That's correct. And she did give a speech at the Commons Industry Committee explaining why would anyone, why are you against electrification? She asked some members of Parliament, frowning severely at the opposition benches, to which the opposition said, okay, if it's going to be that way, they passed a motion through the committee with bloc support to investigate everything about the new electric vehicle policy, including unprecedented market access for those 49,000 Chinese-made battery electric cars, starting at a quota of 49,000. That's almost half the market based on real sales averages. And, Mike, there's a lot of questions about that. And it's going to be I think it's going to get pretty hot.
It should get pretty hot, shouldn't it?
Those cars, I mean, Canadian Auto Workers, formerly now Unifor, has opposed it. Premier Doug Ford has famously said it. The cars were the subject of a Department of Finance finding. This wasn't ancient history. It was last year that said, look, these are all state-run automakers engaged in predatory trade practices. They priced them at $35,000 to undercut all domestic market. And in this country, that's after, according to the Budget Office, the feds put you on the hook for a minimum $50 billion in subsidies for electric car industry. Why would you slit your own throat, forgive my crude language, by letting in these underpriced Chinese imports that you have described as literally built to destroy the domestic industry? Oh, so many questions.
So many indeed. Okay, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with you on this file, Tom. I love that. I love that you keep on top of it. I do, but I hate it when I hear the numbers. And we touched on this last week. The deficit, $78 billion. But time out. Wait a minute. It may run a little higher, Tom. A little higher.
It says the budget officer testifying in Senate National Finance Committee. That's right. It was only last November, so that's not ancient history, just before Christmas, where the feds disclosed they missed their deficit target by 192%. So that's quite a miss. And now, despite having suggested it's $78.3 billion, which would be the highest in history in Canada outside of pandemic overspending, budget officer says, look, the announcements have been coming fast and furious, and that deficit at $78 billion is not done yet. Oh, by the way, they won't even touch their 2026 forecast. This is the value of Department of Finance forecasts now, Mike. They're literally, it's fantasy. It's just fiction. When you miss a target by 192%, that means you're not even aiming. I mean, it's just sort of a philosophy, right?
Not even aiming, indeed. Okay, one more before I let you go, because I find this curious. I mean, taking the TV cameras out of question period, I love that access we get. Is there a problem here?
There is, according to the parliamentary secretary to the government House Leader. So that's right up there. His name is Kevin Lamro, MP from Winnipeg, who said as MPs were discussing changes to minor rules that affect the procedure in the House of Commons and committees, this comes up every new parliament. And MP Kevin Lamro said, I have some ideas. Why don't we get those cameras out of question period? And also, I think we should force this was my favorite, force the opposition to submit written questions in advance for questions. Well, wouldn't we all, Mike? Wouldn't we all like to know where the puck is going in the third period? It was not a popular suggestion. MP Lamro, we know, got some spirited emails from his constituents and explained to them in some of the emails I've seen, no, it wasn't like that. It was, you have to take my comments in context. By the way, the feds really pioneered television in the question period, 1977. That's very early innings, long before the United States Congress. It was a real initiative that now apparently has grown irritating.
I can't get over the written questions in advance, Tom.
Isn't that great?
How many times did you do that as a reporter? Like, I cringe anytime somebody asks. I'm like, hey, back the truck up here.
Yeah, don't even ask. No, everyone does better on the test when they know what the question is.
Tom, I love the weekly chats. Thanks for being here again this morning.
Thank you, Mike.
Tom Korski, managing editor of the Blacklock's Reporter. It is the only reporter-owned and operated newsroom covering our nation's capital with neither politics nor punditry. You can find it online, blacklocks.ca. It is subscription-based, but you get a little taste there from Tom about the kinds of things that they are covering and following, including that deficit. Yeah, we missed our target by 192%, in Tom's words. It's like we're not even aiming. I like the language there. But that $78 billion deficit, well, it may run even a little bit higher. I mean, after all, it's only a number, right? These are the sorts of numbers that frustrate me. But that's why I enjoy the work that Tom and the gang at the Blacklock's Reporter do. And they join us every Wednesday morning at 10 here on the Mike Farwell Show.